Hey, brilliant people. So, Black Lives Matter. Of course they matter. Never mind about kindness and decency and empathy, which of course they're all really important. And if we're operating from kindness and empathy and decency, of course we understand that of course Black Lives Matter. The problem is that prejudice of any kind is insane. And when someone is acting out on that prejudice with violence, then that is just insanity multiplied. Think about it for a moment. When someone is self-harming, we understand that they're in trouble and that is a form of mental illness or insanity. And we take steps, we take measures to actually support them to not harm themselves. And when we're looking at what's going on at the moment with Black Lives Matter and the fact that equality is not normalized, that is a sign of insanity. Because by trying to suppress or cut out any part of society, it means that society is harming itself. It's as ridiculous as saying that, okay, we're brilliant, but, with stars that are all brilliant, that you can't be a red dwarf star. You have to be, like a standard sort of yellow star, like the one that we have. Stars and brilliance come in all shapes and forms. And if you don't actually understand that by suppressing any part of our society, by suppressing the black members of our society, just how we are harming the whole of our society, just take a couple of seconds, have a look at Google. I've put a couple of links below if you can't find them yourself, and just have a look at some of the things that black people have done for our society. Every time you wear cheap shoes, that has been made possible by a black inventor. Whenever you drive your car and you stop at the traffic light, that has been made safer by a black inventor. Before that, all traffic lights, they just had, stop and go. We didn't have the amber light. It was a black inventor who actually developed the 3 light system that makes it safer for all of us to travel on the roads. Every time you get fresh food from your supermarket or your grocer, that is courtesy of the invention of a black person. Because it was a black person who invented the system that enabled refrigerated trucks to exist. So all of those things, our lives would be harder without that part of the system, without that part of the system of our society. This is why systems thinking is so important. If we get stuck in right-wrong thinking and we go, well, that part is wrong, for whatever reasons that you have going on, or that someone has going on, well, that means that you are actually making the system more dysfunctional, because now that part that existed originally for a very good reason, that part can no longer be a full part of the system. So at the moment, our society is looking at, making a choice. Are we going to improve the system? Are we going to develop a saner society? Or are we going to continue on with some of the insanities of the past simply because they've been there before? For example, in this country, in Australia, we had a royal commission into black deaths in custody. It was a very important moment, and it produced all of these recommendations. Okay, cool. But in some ways, that's the right-wrong thinking. That's like, okay, these are all the things that went wrong. Systems thinking is, right, now let's improve the system. Now, has that been done? Well, as far as I know, no. Those recommendations have not been acted on. So it doesn't matter what we decide is right and what we decide is wrong. What matters for the future is, do we understand that every single thing is important? And Black Lives Matter because without Black Lives Mattering, equality is not normalised, the system stays insane. You know, and as much as we all need to do what we can for those who are suffering, of course we do. But for our future, we need to start to think about how do we develop a saner society, one that does not continue to harm itself or any member of its society, because without that, our society's future is going to be less than what it could be. We are not going to attain the brilliance that we could. So, until next time, remember that you are brilliant and that we are all brilliant, and including, of course, Black lives are brilliant.